Coach, we're going to get things started with you and then move on to Nico. Since arriving at Carnegie Mellon in 1975 as a player, then assistant coach and now head coach over the last 29 years, the school has compiled a record of 270, 121, and 4. Heading into the second year back in the PAC as an affiliate member, how does it feel personally and as the head coach to have Carnegie Mellon playing football as part of the PAC once again?
Well, it feels great to be back in the PAC. I've got a lot of good friends in the coaching profession locally. Chris Smith and I have been competing. I don't know, were we 8 when we started or something? I don't know. And Shep's a good friend, and Gino and Mike and all those guys. And it's great to welcome Regis back. Regis, greatest admiration for him as a coach. I coached against him when he was at Case Western. So it's wonderful being in the PAC against great competition and good folks, good people, and great players.
Defense or on special teams. Of having that type of experience returning to your team in 2015?
Well, anytime you have that number of kids who've got game experience, I think it's helpful. We've got a great group of young men who are returning, who are excited about the season. We had a great off season with those kids. They worked extremely hard, as coaches have said. Spring went well, and what do you want to do in spring practice? You want to make some strides and try some people at some different positions and come out of it healthy, and we did that. And so it's a special group every year. I put a lot of stock in chemistry, and hopefully we'll have great chemistry on this football team this year.
Year in and year out, you put a lot of emphasis on special teams. Last season, the Tartans had 2 freshmen garner All-PAC special teams honors in punter kicker Tyler Coleman and senior return man Sam Banger. What are the expectations for the tandem heading into 2015, as well as the other sophomores who made an impact for the Tartans last year?
Well, hopefully Sam has an opportunity to return, do a great job in the special teams game. He's certainly an exciting athlete and has all the tools, the vision, the speed, the quickness, the decision making. We're excited about Sam. Hopefully Coleman has a lousy year because he doesn't punt. I'd like not to punt. So it'd be nice if we just drove down the field and scored all the time. But it's nice when you do punt the football to have a young man who's got great experience and did a great job punting the football. And hopefully, our opponents have a long field after he gets his foot onto the ball.
Coach, final question for you. Can you talk a little bit about your player representative today, Nico, and his importance on defense and as a leader of your program?
Well, we have a real solid defensive group of guys coming back. I think that in my 30 years, I've seen the game change quite a bit, and I think there isn't a coach in this room that doesn't realize on defense, it's all about speed and being able to play in space and get to the football and arrive in an ugly mood. And I like the speed, the quickness, the athleticism of the defense. Nico's a great example of that. We have some very, very good linebackers. I think Nico's a throwback. He's a Connellsville kid. Do they make him any tougher than Connellsville kids? I don't know. I don't think so. He's about as tough as you can get. And he, the great thing about him is he's always upbeat. No matter what the situation, what the circumstances are, he's on the sidelines. He's keeping everybody positive and very uplifting type of player. They say you want to lead by example. He does that. He does that in the off season. He does it during practice. He sets the tone. We have our captains are elected by by our players, and I truly think that one of the greatest honors that a college football player can receive are not necessarily post-season honors or anything like that. I think the honor of being elected captain by your peers is probably the greatest honor that you can receive. And so I'm pleased with my players, with the players that they did elect captain. I brought Nico today. He's a local guy, and he exemplifies what we try to do defensively at Carnegie Mellon, and he's a great student as well, great in the classroom, a competitor in everything he does.
Coach, thanks a lot. Nico, a couple questions for you. We were just talking about you being selected captain. How did it feel to be selected captain for the 2015 season by your teammates? And have you done anything differently this summer in preparation for the season because you are a program captain?
Well, Coach just said it. Anytime you're chosen by a group of guys to be a representative and be the one to lead them into battle, it's always an honor. But especially with this group, I mean, I feel like we're playing on a team full of captains. I mean, we have leaders in every position. We've got guys on the offensive line that can hold their own. We've got receivers. I mean, everywhere you look, we've got leaders on our team. And for them to appoint me and the three other great captains that we have, it truly is an honor. As far as preparation is concerned, personally, it hasn't changed much. We've got a great strength and conditioning coach that has a great program for us, and I've just done the same that I've always done, just sticking with that. The only thing that's really changed is trying to take on more of a role of checking on other players, making sure they've got everything straight with the playbook, with the off-season program, and just getting their ideas and thoughts on things, just trying to include everybody, try to make it, because there really isn't that leadership gap between players and captains. We've got leaders all over, so we really want everyone's voice to be heard. So as far as preparation is concerned, that's really the only difference.
On the defensive side of the ball, you're one of 11 returners who saw starts in 3 games or more. Talk about how that experience and that chemistry of the group can help the defense this season.
I think it helps tremendously. I mean, you look all over, like I said, everyone's a leader on our team, and that comes from experience. We've all been in the trenches together, and we know how each and every one of our players works in which situations, and that builds up a chemistry. So we've got a group of guys that knows what they're doing and who they're doing it with, and that's especially important this year with the coaching changes on the defensive side of the ball. We have all new assistant coaches, and we trust every decision our coaches make in hiring them, and we got to know them a little in spring ball, and we're excited about them. But it helps to have the continuity that we do have with the returning players. So, I mean, with the experience that we have, honestly, I mean, the sky's the limit for our team this year.
What do you think this team has to do to get back to posting a winning season as they did in your freshman season of 2012, when Carnegie Mellon made an appearance in the Eastern College Athletic Conference Southwest Bowl?
I think the biggest thing is, which I'm seeing it already, everyone needs to hold themselves accountable and really make bettering themselves, make it personal to them. Whether it's in the off season, competing with yourself in the weight room, running, even when you really don't want to be out there. It's about competing with yourself to be better the next day than you were today, and in the season. And when you're on the field, you got to create an environment in which you know that there's a man across from you, and you're not going to let him beat you. And if every man takes that upon themselves, that it's a personal affair, that I think we'll be all right.
Nico, last question. From the player's point of view, can you talk about what it means to be playing for 2 conference championships, as well as playing for an automatic bid to the NCAA Division III championship playoffs?
I mean, right off the bat, I mean, that's competition and opportunity. I mean, what more could you ask for as a football player? We've been in the UAA, my first 2 years here, we were in the UAA, and it was a great conference. And now that we got the opportunity to play in both, we have 2 real concrete goals that we can strive for in those conference championships. And there are great teams that we're playing against, and it really works to motivate us. And and especially for me, being a local guy, I love being able to play against all these local teams. And I mean, I played against Sac in high school. I played against a lot of guys that are playing for these teams, and it's always fun to see friends out there. So it's a big thing for me.